All right, joining us now is Tennessee Congressman and member of the House Oversight and Accountability Committee, Congressman Tim Burchett. Great to see you, Congressman, and I haven't had a chance to actually see you or congratulate you since the Republican congressional baseball game victory, so kudos to that. I want to begin here. Obviously, off the back of this Hunter Biden news, you had the chairman of the House Oversight Committee, James Comer, who called the initial ruling by the DOJ a sweetheart deal, vowing that he'd continue to investigate the Biden family. So talk to me a little bit about how these developments will factor into Oversight's investigation.
Well, first of all, my friend Jason Smith did an excellent job of laying out the case, and I would encourage folks to get a copy of that. It's only about 4 or 5 minutes, and it lays it out pretty clear. There's obviously coercion, corruption at the FBI, which we've noted in the past, and it's just a continued path of the Biden crime family is once again up to no good. Hunter Biden is obviously using his father in this case, and I suspect what will end up happening in the end, if this is playing out like I think it's going to, they'll either throw Hunter under the bus, the Biden White House will, or President Biden will be accused, but use his mental capacity as a defense in this case, because it is pretty much cut and dry what's going on. He claimed it didn't go on. The White House press corps smells blood in the water, and I suspect resumes are going out of the White House staff pretty quick right now, seeing this, because they saw the press representatives not able to answer a single dadgum question. So it's pretty evident what's going on with this.
Yeah, including questions from our chief White House correspondent, James Rosen. No change of tune there at all from the White House press secretary, and also from John Kirby. Several Republicans we've already heard, including Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, who's already introduced the resolution to impeach President Biden. There's been a lot of those discussions, but it does appear that there's some trepidation on behalf of GOP members that we need to wait till these investigations are over. Where do you stand right now on again, the appetite for impeachment?
Well, it's exactly how I encouraged our Speaker McCarthy, to do. I said, we have a committee system. Let's go through it. Let's make the case to the American people. We don't have to drag it out like the Trump impeachment, which is just lie upon lie, built upon lie, and enforced by a lying Justice Department. We have the facts gathered by this Justice Department, in fact, that they refused to release, which now we have copies of. So the facts are pretty plain, and they're pretty clear. Jason Smith laid out a pretty good case in himself, and the 20 to 21 bank accounts and LLCs that the Biden crime family established to launder this money is pretty evident. They had no product other than access to the big guys, they said, and Hunter Biden is just a dirtbag. And he got caught, and he's not paying taxes. The American public demands answers. He has a felony gun issue that he refused. Basically, he got a slap. And in Tennessee, I've seen people get harsher judgments literally in traffic violations than this joker got. So it is ridiculous. And I want to thank you all so much for keep bringing this up to the American public, because without you all, the truth will just be floundered away.
We appreciate, again, your continued updates from the Oversight Committee. I wanted to ask about one other development before we pivot to some other breaking news that we've been following.
Yes, ma'am.
That is, senior FBI officials had given Chairman Comer access to additional FD 1023 documents related to the alleged bribery scheme involving President Biden and that Burisma executive. What came out of that? Is there anything that's helpful to your investigation?
Yes, ma'am. It just adds on another layer of corruption, obviously. And that when President Biden, the irony of all that is this is exactly what they accused President Trump of doing, is making threats to government officials. When you saw Joe Biden do that, him bragging about it. And then what you don't see is in the course of that is a payment to the Biden crime family, once again, from crooked officials overseas. And it just keeps adding on and on. But the interesting thing is that the FBI tries to make these documents classified, and they're supposed to be open to the public. So there's going to be more into this. If I suspect the members of the Justice Department and the FBI are going to be lawyering up soon, because they're going to be called to task on their efforts to cover this up.
And lastly, Congressman, you serve also a very important role on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. I want to get your reaction to the developments that we've been following out of Russia with concerns with regard to the Wagner Group and not agreeing on Putin's path forward when it comes to the war in Ukraine.
Well, if you can't trust a bloodthirsty mercenary who is basically hired for cash, who can you trust? I mean, these are mercenaries, ma'am. They go to the highest bidder. This does not surprise me. He bases his military strength on a group of mercenaries who are very ruthless, in fact, and they feel they've been double-crossed at somewhere down the path. I think what we better be cautious of who's going to be the number two in Russia. You know, during the Second World War, it was documented that the British had an opportunity to take out Hitler, but he was doing such a poor job, they were afraid his number two could come in. And in fact, when America intercepted Yamamoto, who was the orchestrator of the Pearl Harbor attack, they chose to take him out because the number two was not as qualified as Yamamoto was. So there's a lot going on there. A lot I cannot comment about at this time, but I would say you all in your previous report pretty much nailed all the key points, that it is ongoing and it is real.
Congressman Tim Burchett, great to see you. We appreciate you coming on. Thank you.